When I connected with that Dawson.
I saw you connect.
Alvin Kamara, Christopher Lammons, Darren Young, and Percy Harris.
Welcome to Law & Order Sports. I'm Brandon Perna, YouTube's version of a proctologist, but for the law. I may not have a lawyering degree, but I'm not scared to stick my finger in there and blindly diagnose an NFL player's legal troubles without qualification. New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara has been indicted by a grand jury in Las Vegas stemming from his arrest at the 2022 Pro Bowl. And while many believe playing in the last full contact Pro Bowl is punishment enough, the state of Nevada may disagree. Alvin Kamara and Bengals corner Chris Lammons and two other gentlemen allegedly beat up a man in the hallway of a nightclub and are facing criminal charges after formally being indicted. This case has been looming for a full year now, over a year. Kamara avoided suspension for the 2022 NFL season, and after more video footage was released with multiple angles from the security cameras of the assault, including omissions from their limo ride afterward, I'm not sure how Kamara and the three other gentle fellows involved come out of this unscathed by legal punishments. So what does this mean for Kamara's future in the NFL? I think the idea of a 6-game suspension for violation of the NFL's personal conduct policy would be the minimum. Everything hinges on Kamara's trial, which will take place at the end of July. Today, I'm going to break down what this means for Kamara, play the clips from the limousine ride, and we'll dive in. That's good. Sports Line Order. Please subscribe here. Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. And I'm really excited to use SeatGeek to see one of my all-time favorite stand-up comedians this month, David Cross, who will be here in Denver with Broncos head coach Sean Payton. Two of my favorite worlds collide. Oh, that's Sean Patton. Close. The Nuggets are hot right now, so if you're looking for NBA tickets, use SeatGeek. March Madness is here, and I suggest using SeatGeek, the #1 rated ticketing app to get your tickets. Of course, the green dots in the app let you know when a ticket is a good deal, and XFL tickets are incredibly affordable if spring football excites you. Plus, every ticket is backed by SeatGeek's buyer guarantee, and it's the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swap. So, use my code THATSGOOD and you're gonna get $20 off your first purchase. Link in the description. All right, if you're unfamiliar, let's refresh on exactly what happened. Saints running back Alvin Kamara and Cincinnati Bengals corner Chris Lammons, who was a Chief, Kansas City Chief when this happened, no surprise there, along with two other men, Percy Harris and Darren Young, are facing charges of conspiracy to commit battery and battery resulting in substantial bodily harm after they allegedly, which I have to say so Brett Favre doesn't sue me, allegedly beat victim Darnell Green so badly that he had to be treated at a hospital for multiple injuries, including an orbital fracture and an eventual shoulder surgery. Now, these four men have been indicted, which means a grand jury in Nevada has seen the evidence and decided that they should be tried criminally. Kamara officially pleaded not guilty in court just yesterday.
There's one count of conspiracy to commit battery, gross misdemeanor, and one count of battery of substantial bodily harm, a felony. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
And in Nevada, if convicted, all four men could be facing fines up to $10,000 or prison time ranging from 1 to 5 years. The NFL will suspend Kamara for at least 6 games, possibly more if it views what Kamara did as repeated striking during the attack, which the NFL lists as aggravating or mitigating factors that can lead to longer suspensions within the framework of their personal conduct violations and punishments. Put simply, the NFL has a mandatory 6-game suspension for violations of the personal conduct policy that can have more games tacked on without pay if mitigating factors apply to the situation. Those factors include previous violations, violence with a weapon, choking, repeated striking, which it appears Kamara did in the video, or violence to vulnerable people, women, children, or the elderly. aka Tom Brady, which is why any player who sacked Tom in Tampa Bay is no longer in the league. Darnell Green, the alleged victim, provided an account of what happened to the grand jury. Here's his exact quote. "Once the elevator came down, I went to step on the elevator and a guy put his hands on my chest, like to tell me, like push me back and tell me I can't get on the elevator. And I go there. It's not my first time there. I've been there a few times and everybody used the same elevator. So when he pushed me, I pushed his hands down off my chest and then he pushed me real hard and then somebody hit me." I will play the limousine clip in a minute, but I'm not going to play the security videos of the beating because YouTube will punish me if I show it. It's on Twitter, you can find it there. Even if I give proper warning and context. Actually, you know what? There's one part I do want to show, but with the fighting blurred out or cropped out of frame. The fight is happening in the back of the hallway in this video, but I like this guy. This employee just doing his job. Walking across frame with what, 2 lamps or 2 hookahs in his hands, not giving any fucks about a man being mercilessly beaten down the hall. Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Now you can watch the videos on Twitter or TMZ or the New York Post if you haven't seen them already. The video, though, corroborates Green's story in terms of the beating. This footage by the elevator is where Kamara's legal team is gonna have to make the case for self-defense, but if you watch it, it looks like Kamara does prevent Green from getting on the elevator, puts his hands on him before Chris Lammons really shoves him and then hits him, which I cut away before you can actually see it, but that's what happens right after. So this footage here is probably gonna be the most important to the case. Which would be needed to validate the self-defense claims being made by Kamara and Lammons. When Lammons gets life, make lemonade. Now the evidence against Kamara and Lammons is not good. You can clearly see the 4 men aggressively exiting the elevator, Kamara shoving the guy into the wall, punching him in the face, and then all 4 men attacking him when he's on the ground, at which point he was beaten unconscious. You can see Kamara punching at him when he's on the ground, and one of the guys stomping at or around his face. It's pretty brutal. And that's 2 pro athletes, 4 men total against 1 dude. I mean, personally, I would have won the fight, but that's because I hit spin class pretty fucking hard. Kamara ain't never, ever fucked with calves like these. But for most normal humans, they call this an unfair fight. A punk-ass move, what have you. Alvin Kamara was one of my favorite players in the NFL, but after seeing this, my thoughts are, I don't think I like that guy very much. We've known this had happened for a year, but it's hard to digest when you see how brutal it is. The original footage released like a year ago was very grainy, only had 1 angle, and there's that weird thing when you actually see it, it's really hard to unsee. It's hard to get out of your head. Darnell Green is also seeking $10 million in damages in a civil suit, which is a separate filing from this criminal case. The NFL has currently declined to comment on this situation. Alvin Kamara, per his defense, no, not his defense, his lawyer team, they're claiming self-defense. They intend to vigorously fight the allegations, which, if there wasn't this damning video evidence, might seem plausible. Self-defense suggests that someone is in danger or feels threatened and has to act in the name of their own safety. Watching 4 men stomp an unarmed man when he's on the ground because he tried to squeeze into an elevator with them seems like the only person who could feasibly claim self-defense would be Green. Allegedly. I'm just gonna throw allegedly out for whenever I think I need to be safe. Allegedly. Now, if the video evidence of the fight isn't enough to convict Alvin Kamara, allegedly, the security footage from the limo the men were in after the altercation could be enough. Allegedly.
He said, leave me alone. After that, it's over with. Chris said, oh my God. Hey, I'm looking at it. I'm thinking he know her. Next thing I hear is, what? I got to go now, right now. I thought this was sleeping. I connected with that jaw so hard.
Now, it's kind of hard to understand with all of those bleeps, but there are 2 things that are important here. 1, Kamara seemingly bragging about how well he connected with Green's jaw.
Yeah, when I connected with that jaw so hard.
you connect.
Not guilty.
And 2, his friend Darren Young saying,
Bro, but you tripping, bro. You can't be doing shit like that. I know, bro, but I can't, bro. Yeah, but you got to figure that out, bro. The wrong hits your ass, you gonna be that lawsuit there.
Now, neither of those statements make it seem like whatever instigated this incident was because Kamara felt like he was in true danger and that they were indeed the aggressors here. Having video evidence of your friend telling you that you can't do that shit is not going to play well in front of a judge and jury. Talking about how hard you hit the guy you put in the hospital also really makes your case paper thin. So again, Kamara pleaded not guilty, and he is innocent until proven guilty because these are indeed allegations. His attorney will have to convince a jury that Kamara is innocent, even though there's video evidence of him allegedly beating Green and admitting how hard he hit him afterwards, allegedly. There's always the possibility of a plea deal and all kinds of legal maneuvering that I really don't understand as a legal proctologist that could make sure Kamara walks free. I usually try and side with the player. But based on what I've seen, what everyone can see, it will be shocking if this hits trial in July and a guilty verdict is not reached, in my opinion. What would the punishment be? Who knows? But here's an idea for Green. Go ahead and sue the NFL as well for moving the Pro Bowl away from Hawaii into Las Vegas. Seems like a recipe for shit like this to happen. And remember, if we're talking about senseless acts of violence, let's make sure to keep those to our Russell Wilson takes on the internet. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports, allegedly. Please subscribe here on YouTube, allegedly. For more NFL news, updates, NFL shorts, NFL deep dive videos on players, on seasons, on all sorts of whatever, allegedly. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments.